Hello, viewers. Today, this is going to be another motivational video, I suppose, similar to the one I did before, but on a slightly different subject. So this time it's about working with what you've got available to you. So the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people might be thinking like this. I really want to do something, but I'm not ready yet because, I need this, that, and the other before I can even attempt to be doing this particular thing. But what I've got to say to you is that, this is like a never ending story because, from a preparation perspective, you might never be ready enough. I suppose it's always good to be prepared, by the way. Don't take this the wrong way. I truly believe in preparation and in rehearsing for things and be well rehearsed, well practiced, and so on. But this is not about that. It's about actually doing something, actually starting something, kick starting a project, for example, because you might be procrastinating and thinking, I haven't got this, I haven't got that. I'll give you an example. When I was in my first ever band, and I started that band when I was only 14 years old, actually. We didn't have any money really. We just had some, maybe pocket money from our parents at that time, and especially not for masses and masses of great music gear. But my attitude and the attitude of the entire band at the time was, no, we're just gonna do with what we've got. And you know what? I actually didn't have a proper mic stand at the time, and I couldn't afford one. Is the true story. And I just used some wooden plank, and just I had some bricks, something heavy that I basically held this wooden plank between say a few bricks at the bottom, on the floor, so it wouldn't so it wouldn't fall down. And then I installed the microphone with a tape on top of it, for example, and I just did it that way. I didn't say, oh, I don't have a mic stand, so I'm just not going to sing or whatever. No, I improvise. I found other ways of doing things. It didn't stop me from doing what I wanted to do. And I was in the band. I played guitar and I sang. Same with an amp. I didn't have money at the time to buy an amp, and I actually used an old valve radio that I borrowed from my father at the time. That was my first ever amp, actually, that I've ever used. So again, I was resourceful. I looked for other solutions. And the list goes on, really. Because even when I was older, and I had my other bands later on in my life, I still did similar things. For instance, I bought some equipment, for recording, so some drum mics and things like that, and then recorded my own bands inside a rehearsal room. And that way it kind of saved us money on going in a studio, spending hours in a studio, which can be expensive depending on how long you spend there. So if you don't have that, maybe you need to invest in some equipment, recording equipment, and maybe start learning how to do it by yourself. Same with guitars, I suppose. I might be thinking, my guitar isn't like a Joe Satriani signature model Ibanez or that kind of thing, but that doesn't stop me. I've bought some cheaper versions, for example, and then had my pickups replaced, so to achieve like a really great sound. So there's various things that really you can do. I've been recording with a laptop. When I didn't have a very powerful computer, for example, I've used you know, cheaper DAWs, digital audio workstations. You know, if I couldn't afford something that was really expensive but maybe recommended by many, you know, I just found ways. You know, I always found ways to do something. Similarly with a drum kit, I remember when again when I think that was when I was in my first band back in Poland, and I think I wanted to learn how to play drums at that time, or maybe perhaps even we were looking for a drum kit for our rehearsal space. And you know, when I went to a music shop, all these drum kits really were very expensive, you know, and there's no chance that I could afford or we could afford any of that at the time. But you know, uh, my friend had a girlfriend at the time, and she was selling, there was a drum kit that was used in a theater, you know. It wasn't like your standard drum kit, you know, it was basically like made up from various drums, like a bit of a patchwork of drums really, with some random symbols as well. But you know, because it was from a theater somewhere, and she got into possession of it somehow, she didn't want that much money for it, you know. And you know, I paid some silly money at the, as in very cheap, very low price at that time, for that drum kit. But yeah, I had a drum kit, you know, that was fantastic, you know, and I could actually start learning and you know and having fun with it, you know. So it didn't stop me, and I think this is my message to you for today, really, that you know, no matter you know what, how weird your equipment might be or whatever, you just go for it, you know, just start doing what you want, you know, just find things that you can't afford at that time, and you know, things will come and things will, you will build up on it and you will do things. But even with, say, starting a YouTube channel, that's another thing. You may want to start your own YouTube channel. You might be thinking, oh, you know, I'm not ready, I don't have a super camera, super lighting, whatever, a space, that kind of thing. You just find ways, to overcome these obstacles, you know. And yeah, you will build it gradually, you will improve, you will find a better space, you will buy better lighting, you will buy better camera, whatever that might be. But don't let this discourage you that you don't have something right now at this moment. Just go for it. And on that note, I'm going to end my video for today. And thanks very much for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video.